Swadika, good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World with us.
And Swadika, good evening. And today we'll be kick-starting the program with the latest about the COVID-19 situation in Thailand, specifically about the first case of severe side effects from the Pfizer jab, which has worried many people who are wanting to get the mRNA vaccine. And currently, the health officials have been trying to wrap up the analysis of what is believed to be Thailand's first known case of severe side effects, which involved a 12-year-old Thai girl who was inoculated with the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. The case will be submitted to a panel of medical specialists. The director of the Division of Epidemiology at the Disease Control Department, Dr. Chakkarat Pithiya Wong-Anon, assured the public that the Pfizer vaccine is safe and only a handful of cases of side effects have been reported out of over 2 million students aged 12 to 18 who have received the mRNA vaccine. He also said that the girl in question, who lives in Ratchaburi province, developed a cough, fatigue, and chest pain 6 days after she was given a Pfizer jab. And on Tuesday, the Queen Sirikit National Institute of Child Health issued a statement about the girl, who was sent to the Institute for Medical Treatment from Ratchaburi Provincial Hospital on October 26th. The girl had been admitted to hospital the previous day after she developed the symptoms and was immediately given high-flow oxygen therapy and antibiotics. After the examination, the institute said that the girl was physically underdeveloped and much smaller than other girls of her age, and she also has a kyphosis and an abnormal body structure, which may have had an impact on her lung function. A check of her heart shows that the heart muscle functions properly, and there's no sign of inflammation as well, but she was diagnosed as suffering from a pulmonary embolism.
And during her treatment in the ICU at the institute, she was given a blood clotting drug and initially was on a ventilator, which has been replaced by a high-flow oxygen device. So on October 29th, blood circulation in the lungs had actually improved as the blood clots had almost completely dissolved. Her condition has improved overall, and she was moved out of the ICU to a special children's ward, and she can now eat by herself. The institute also said that a panel of medical experts have been trying to determine what caused the blood clot. Well, that is actually quite rare because, as you said, Knut, that it is actually the first known severe side effects that we have seen in this country from Pfizer. And Pfizer has been used a lot for children, especially school students. But we have to take note as well that she already has her abnormality in her body, which was disrupting her breathing.
Exactly, Kunatai. We have to admit that there have been a lot of warnings from many medical experts on the use of Pfizer among children aged 12 to 18. Many of them actually advise that they should use a inactivated virus vaccine first before using the mRNA vaccine. But despite the warnings, the inoculations are still proceeding either with Pfizer or the other one is the Sinopharm vaccines.
Right. And moving on to another big story, you may have remembered the chilling police killing of a drug suspect back in August through a leaked video. A lot of people have voiced skepticism that justice will truly be served. But today we have some updates for you on the case. So police investigation into this chilling murder by 7 then police officers, including Titisan Uttanapon, also known as Joe Ferrari, have wrapped up, and the case files with a total of 2,500 pages have now been submitted to the public prosecutors. Police have filed 4 charges, including murder by torture or brutal acts, allegedly suffocating a suspect to death with plastic bags. And the 3 other charges filed against the former officers, all attached to Nakhon Sawan's Mueang district, are malfeasance in office, negligence of duty, as well as coercion. So all the 7 ex-cops are now in police custody. And according to the Attorney General spokesperson team today, their consideration of the case will not take more time than perhaps 2 weeks, which is the required time, allowed time by law to detain all the suspects. So actually each round is about 12 days, and they only have one more round as stipulated in the law to keep the suspects. But the prosecutors said actually they were quite reassuring, saying that they will try to come up with a case before they actually get to walk. And regarding the 400 smuggled luxurious car reportedly seized by Titisan or Joe over the past several years, which of course earned him the nickname Joe Ferrari. And he also earned substantial rewards from the Customs Department. So according to the Deputy National Police Chief Police General Sushat, the investigation of the case of these luxurious cars is about 80% complete now, and that they had uncovered several suspicious matters relating to the reward claims. So police have impounded up to 131 million baht worth of suspected ill-gotten assets from Titisan or Joe, which include 57 million baht housed in a Bangkok suburb and about 24 expensive cars, as well as 18 guns. Well, hopefully this case still hasn't really died down, is still in progress. And for those of you who want to see if justice is really going to be served, if the cops will actually punish some of their own, you have to wait and see in just probably less than 2 weeks if they going to decide to indict them or not.
Exactly, Kunatai. This story has been in the public interest since the story first emerged. So we'll have to wait and see what the results will be, especially with the cops right there. And moving on to politics, from now on, the government's chief whip has to stop performing all of his duties as an MP after the Supreme Court accepted a corruption case of the futsal courts in which he is somehow involved. The government's chief whip, Wiratnatana Seth, has to stop performing his duties as an MP from Tuesday after the Supreme Court Criminal Division for holders of political office accepted a massive corruption case for trial. The case concerns the construction of substandard futsal courts in several northeastern provinces almost a decade ago, which was worth a combined 4.4 billion baht. And 86 educational officials, mostly school directors in the northeast, as well as Wiratnatana Seth, were prosecuted by the Office of Attorney General for their roles in the futsal project. 65 of them were dismissed from service in October by the Office of Basic Education Commission. And according to the National Anti-Corruption Commission, Wirat and his wife were among a group of 24 people and companies who allegedly colluded by splitting up their duties and coordinating with one another to plunder public funds in the 2012 fiscal year, which had been earmarked for the construction of the courts at schools, despite the fact that many of the schools had not asked for the courts in the first place.
And one of the dismissed directors of a community school in Nakhon Ratchasima said he and his colleagues will appeal against their dismissal because they feel the wholesale ruling of the NCCC is unfair. Several teachers and school directors are believed to have been mere scapegoats for their roles in accepting delivery of the substandard courts after their construction. Most futsal courts were built outdoors without a roof to protect the rubber floor mats, which quickly peeled after exposure to sunlight, and most of the courts have now been abandoned. So the Supreme Court Criminal Division for holders of political office has scheduled the first hearing of the case for December 20th next month. Well, it's actually glad to see that a corruption case is also going forward.
Exactly, and remember the futsal court, the futsal courts case. People have been trying to find out what has been happening, because when they were trying to create all of these, they claim that it's for the physical health of the students, but it turns out to be substandard as well.
Not even usable, so to say, and then they pocketed millions, if not billions of baht. So, well, we'll got to see the case being proceeded from next month.
Right.
And moving on now to economics, and particularly on real estate, you may wonder how the industry's been doing during COVID, and if people are buying or selling more of their hard assets. Now we get some figures for you. So a Thai Real Estate Information Centers, or REIC, report shows an average of 114,000 secondhand dwellings listed per month in the second quarter of 2021 this year, along with some 290,000 new properties, which is all a slight contraction in terms of number when compared to the first quarter of this year. But when we consider the prices being listed, they are actually higher. So the data was collected from state financial institutions, the legal execution department, and the real estate listing website, talatnatban.com. And according to the REIC, combined pre-owned listings were valued at an average of 818 billion baht a month in the second quarter. Combined new property listings, meanwhile, were valued at 1.2 trillion baht. According to REIC Acting Director Wichai Wiratkapan, this reflects the housing supply situation, and competition was very intense. Developers did not only compete among themselves, but also with minor sellers. On top of the list of provinces with most real estate sales announcements was, of course, Bangkok. And this is followed by Nonthaburi, Pathum Thani, Samut Prakan, which are all adjacent to Bangkok, and as well as Chonburi, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Prachuap Khiri Khan, which has Hua Hin in it, Rayong, as well as Surat Thani, which has all the many islands in the south as well. So Bangkok properties reportedly held the highest values, and this is followed by Phuket, Chonburi, Nonthaburi, Samut Prakan, and Chiang Mai. Most of the listings are in the price range of 3 to 5 million baht, and an average of 21,000 units a month, or 18.4%, followed by those within the range of 2.3 million baht, and then those priced in more than 10 million baht. According to the report, detached houses were the most listed in the secondhand market in Q2, with an average of over 42,000 listings every month. Second on the list were condominiums, followed by townhouses, and then commercial buildings, and lastly, but of course not the least, semi-detached houses. So as you can see, the market has contracted a little bit, and with that, I think it's kind of correspond in terms of economics when you have actually a little bit less supply, then the prices can also go up, as we can see now.
Right. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people are discouraged to buy new homes as well, because they think that they should save up their money to survive and make ends meet during that time. So it is quite understandable why they decided not to buy new homes at this time.
Right.
And we'll end the program with news about the Scala Theater. If you're a movie goer and if you've been in Thailand for a while, you may have heard this theater before, which has closed its curtains last year. And a couple of days ago, it has been demolished. And the once famous Scala Theater, in operation for 54 years in Bangkok Siam Square, was demolished earlier this week. And it was definitely a heartbreaking moment for local film fans. The capital's only independent single-screen cinema closed its curtains for the final time last year. The demolition, which began on Monday, came after Central Patana Public Company ended its leasehold of the Block A building, during which they have paid 5.9 billion baht to the property management arm of Chulalongkorn University. Some people took the video clips of the demolition and posted them on social media, while others even collected bricks as memorabilia. It is reported that the mixed-use building, which includes a hotel, shopping mall, and an office area, will be built in its place. The Scala Theater was a significant part of Thailand's movie culture and history, particularly in the 70s when the film and cinema business were expanding rapidly. And Scala Theater was one of the three main theaters, along with Lido and Siam theaters, located in the center of Siam Square, and was widely known for its interior Art Deco design. Since its official closure on July 5th last year, the Association of Siamese Architects under royal patronage has opposed the demolition of the classic cinema and had asked the Fine Arts Department to declare it an historical site. However, the Fine Arts Department said that the Scala Theater does not fall into either the historical or the archaeologically significant site categories, according to Section 4 of the Law on Ancient Monuments, Antiques, Objects of Art, and National Museums. So it is a sad video to watch to see that the iconic Scala Theater was demolished after it has been part of the Thai movie culture for over 50 years.
Well, I wasn't there in the 70s, but at least I was here in the 21st century when it was still up and running, and actually had the pleasure and even honor to see some movies there. And it was actually really nice atmosphere, nice ambience. So,
Right.
Of course, a lot of us are sad to see it go. But hopefully the new buildings coming up will somehow make up for it.
Well, I'm not sure if it will really make up for it, because with the unique architecture, many people will definitely miss that. Not only the vibes going to the movie theater as well.
Right. And with that, we will wrap up this edition of Thai PBS World tonight, but do catch us like this every weekday at 7 p.m. for all the top stories and explainers.
And don't forget to follow us on social media, as well as our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ